Magandang umaga, Filipinos. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Morning in Canada. This is our weekly edition. I'm Thomas I. Leitner, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta, my city, Edmonton, and we're here this morning to bring you news and commentary from across the country. Well, it's Monday morning, the start of another week. Hopefully you had a good weekend. I know I did. Let's have a look at the weather, though, in Metro Manila this morning. AccuWeather forecasting a mostly cloudy sky today. 1 or 2 morning thunder showers expected. Should get up to about 32 degrees with a real feel of 38. Expect a couple of showers this evening. Our current conditions, partly cloudy, 27, but it feels like 32. And if you're going outside today, a good day to do that. The air quality is excellent. Remember where the coffee is? Well, I got some fresh stuff on it. Right over there. Got it. Okay, grab yourself a second cup, sit back, relax, and let me tell you what's happening in Canada today. First of all, we'll have a look at our weather across the country. Our street scene today coming from Cypress Mountain in North Vancouver. And a big thank you to Jen de Leon for this video. Starting on the west coast, Victoria, partly cloudy and 18. We cross the Strait of Georgia to Vancouver, where it's mostly cloudy and 17. Across the Rocky Mountains, westward to Alberta, eastward to Alberta, I should say, eastward. My compass is broken. Edmonton, sunny and 19, mostly cloudy and 17 in Calgary. In Saskatchewan, Regina, sunny and 21. Got up to 23 with some clouds in Saskatoon. Winnipeg, partly cloudy and 23. Toronto, it's hot in Toronto, 29, clouds. Ottawa, mostly cloudy and 27. Cooling off a little bit as we go eastward to Montreal, clouds and 24. And the Atlantic provinces, warm for this time of year. Fredericton, mainly sunny and 27. Halifax, mostly cloudy and 25. St. John's, Newfoundland, mainly sunny and 21 degrees. Well, at the top of the news this morning, across large parts of British Columbia, there's sporadic wildfires and so on. Some people have felt the effects of them. Others are just breathing in that smoke as it wafts across the province. Eagle News correspondent Jeanette Doiseau brings us up to date with the latest on the story. She's joining us live from Victoria. Good morning, Jeanette. How are things?
Hi, good morning, Tom, and good morning to our viewers. Yes, Christie Mountain. There's that wildfire in Penticton, and it started on Tuesday, August the 18th. So just a quick one on the location of Penticton. It's in the interior of British Columbia, a 4-hour drive from Vancouver. So by Friday, this last Friday, the fire was covering about 2,000 hectares and about 3,700 properties were placed under evacuation alert. According to the BC Wildfire Service, although there were winds gusts of up to 70 kilometers an hour from the south, there was a minimal growth in size of the fire. There were 61 pieces of equipment, including 16 helicopters, and 143 firefighters from across British Columbia who helped on quite a vigorous effort done on site Friday overnight. So according to the BC Wildfire Operations Section Chief, the passing cold front changed the wind direction from south to northwest and towards away from the community. However, where the winds are pushing back into is towards the direction where there is a heavier forest fuel load. So that's where the concern is now. BC Wildfire will continue to use their aviation fleet to monitor and stop any growth of the fire. By late Saturday afternoon, BC Wildfire Service took an aerial video and estimated the size of the wildfire at Christie Mountain at 2,035 hectares. So as of now, out of the 158 fires that sparked in the last week, there are 72 active fires in the province. There are 3 wildfires of note, including Christie Mountain, meaning those fires are highly visible or which pose a potential threat to public safety. Weather and high temperatures are factors and have significant impact on wildfires. And so it has impact on how they start, how aggressively they will spread, and how long they will burn. So earlier today, I checked Environment Canada weather projections for the next week. The temperature ranges from high of 20 to 23 degrees and low or nighttime temperatures of 12 to 15 degrees. In British Columbia, Jeanette Duazo, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Now, Jeanette, of course, as you mentioned, weather is a big factor in this.
Yes.
I take it none of the fires right now are endangering any communities. Which way are the flames traveling?
Well, the one at the Christie Mountain, or is it Mountie Christie? The Christie Mountain ones, that's where the most concern was on Friday because of the wind coming from the south. So it will bring the fire towards the city center of Penticton. So now the wind changed overnight, thank goodness. So it changed from coming from the south now to northwest. And that's towards, like, away from the community and towards more of the forest area. But now that's where the concern now of the wildfire services, BC Wildfire Services, is that there would be more fires, but it's away from people.
Well, thankfully nobody's in danger, and we'll be keeping an eye on that story. Thanks for joining us this morning, Jeanette.
Yeah,
well, I
thanks for
hope to
having
be able to tell you who the next leader of the federal opposition Conservative Party is, but there's a problem. The machine that opens the envelopes that the mail-in ballots are in is apparently also slicing up the ballots. About 175 of those were cast, and we'll be off the air by the time that count is in. But we should have the results for you in a couple of hours, so check with us on Eagle News International America. And, of course, check our website, eaglenews.net, for complete details. We go to the COVID-19 file now, and for those who think because they're young, COVID-19 won't seriously affect them, listen to this. In Montreal this week, a 19-year-old man, just weeks from beginning a college program, is instead being buried. Don Nasapu died of complications from COVID-19. Until the infection, he was in good health. He had no underlying health conditions. He was a star athlete in high school. His family says he was brought to the hospital with a bad fever more than a month ago. The diagnosis, COVID-19. He was sent home and told to isolate for 14 days. After 3 weeks, he got worse. Back to the hospital where he was admitted. 9 days later, Don Nasapu died. His father doesn't know where his son may have picked up the virus, but Don's death comes as we see an increasing number of people under the age of 30 being infected. Look at my province now. Alberta wants a poster child for keeping the coronavirus under control. Today, the capital city, my city, Edmonton, is a hot spot. Our infection rate, twice that of Toronto, which is Canada's largest city. And again, it's that younger demographic. And while these cases are on the increase, schools preparing to reopen. A tough call for parents. Do I send my children back? Do I expose them to the risk of infection? Or maybe they'll be asymptomatic carriers of the disease, presenting a risk to vulnerable members of my family. Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, answers some of these concerns.
First of all, if children are infected with COVID-19, they are more likely to be mildly sick and fewer are hospitalized. Secondly, childhood infections, particularly in younger children, do not seem to drive community transmission. This was equally true in places like Sweden, where elementary schools never closed, and in Finland, where schools did close. Third, young children seem less likely than adults to infect others, while older children seems to transmit infection in a way more similar to adults. This was seen in high school outbreaks in France and Israel, where elementary schools in similar areas did not experience the same spread.
Hinshaw says returning to school is not without risk, but she says school is about more than just education.
It is equally important to a child's socialization, mental health, food security through school nutrition programs, and protection from other harms that may result from additional stress or financial hardship if parents are not able to work. The multifaceted value of school is clear.
So ultimately, Doctor, just what should parents do?
There are families for whom the risk of a sporadic infection is significant due to chronic conditions in the student or a family member. Each family must weigh their options and make the best choice for their situation. But I want to be clear, there is no wrong decision about a return to in-school or online learning. Each parent is uniquely positioned to make the best decision for their family, and school authorities have worked to provide innovative options to support student learning wherever that may be. Regardless of your choice, taking precautions is our new normal for all ages, including our children.
Lots to consider. Let's turn to the military now. RIMPAC, that stands for the Exercise Rim of the Pacific. It's in its second week now off the coast of Hawaii. It's military exercises involving a number of countries. 2 Canadian frigates taking part. Eagle News correspondent Kat Joy tells us about one of those ships.
Members of Royal Canadian Navy ship HMCS Winnipeg participated late last week in a replenishment at sea operation with the American Navy's logistic vessel USNS Henry J. Kaiser off the coast of the Hawaiian Islands during the Rim of the Pacific or RIMPAC exercise, which began on August 17. Since its earliest days, the U.S. Navy has patrolled waters far from home, often without access to friendly ports of call in which to replenish her ships. Though this has never been a problem unique to the United States, the American Navy has claimed bragging rights over the concept of resupplying ships without having to come ashore. The first documented replenishment of a warship at sea was conducted by the USS Constitution in the Caribbean Sea during the 1799 Quasi-War. The Constitution was replenished by small boats, with supplies lowered in barrels from one ship, rowed across, and then hoisted on board the U.S. frigate, a method that kept her on station for almost an entire year. But it was not until the years following the 1898 Spanish-American War that the Navy began to develop systematic at-sea replenishment. The most successful idea used equipment exclusively located on the colliers to transfer bags of coal, though it quickly became obsolete with the Navy's shift to oil-burning engines. These early efforts nevertheless provided important foundation for subsequent systems, especially before the breakout of World War I and World War II. Nowadays, with larger vessels like aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines, the top commodities for replenishment are usually fuel, food, ammunition, and repair parts. The Winnipeg also supported partner nation ships by deploying a hammerhead, which is a small, unmanned, remote control boat to be used for target firing practice while also at sea. 10 nations, 22 ships, 1 submarine, and more than 5,300 personnel are currently participating in RIMPAC 2020 at sea around the Hawaiian Islands. RIMPAC is a biennial exercise designed to foster and sustain cooperative relationships, critical to ensuring the safety of sea lanes and security in support of a free and open Indo-Pacific region. One sailor from Windsor, Ontario, and aboard the HMCS Regina shares his thoughts about being part of this training event.
The most rewarding aspect of my job is working with some of the guys who have decades of experience civvy side and join the military where we come together and able to accomplish anything that comes our way. I am excited about seeing the different classes of ships participating in the multinational exercise. This is my first time participating in RIMPAC, and I'm very excited about it.
RIMPAC 2020 will end on August 31st. I am Kat Joy for Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
If you're just joining us, it's 18 minutes past 7 o'clock. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada.
The New Era University, in its 45th year of excellence, discipline, and service to humanity, will offer online education all levels beginning this first semester academic year 2020 to 2021 through the NEU Virtual Learning Environment, or NEU VLE. New Era University offers a complete basic education cycle from kindergarten up to senior high school, offering all strands. NEU has 18 colleges, and 2 graduate schools. It also offers ALS and ETF. Best of all, NEU has the most affordable tuition fees among private universities in the Philippines. NEU is at Quezon City, the city of San Fernando, Pampanga, General Santos City, South Cotabato, Lipa City, Batangas, and Pinugay, Baras, Rizal.
New Era University is under the stewardship of Dr. Nilo L. Rosas.
What are you waiting for? Be part of the new normal. Enroll now. Classes start on October 5, 2020.
This is Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. 20 minutes past 7 o'clock, 27 degrees in Metro Manila. Well, Canada's Transport Agency will be taking a Boeing 737 MAX out for a spin this week. Now, these planes have been parked on the ground for more than a year now after 2 deadly crashes. Transport Canada says this week's test flights will be done in U.S. airspace. Agency staff also plan to conduct flight simulator tests at Boeing's facility in Seattle, Washington. The 737 MAX has been grounded since March 13th, 2019. That was after the crash of an Ethiopian Airlines aircraft. 157 people died in that crash. And that tragedy came just months after a Lion Air 737 crash that claimed the lives of 189 people. The MAX's anti-stall flight system was partially to blame for both crashes. Well, if you need an ambulance in Toronto, let's hope it's a sunny day. Toronto is retrofitting its fleet of ambulances with solar panels, hybrid engines, this all to reduce pollution. Solar panels will be put on the roofs of 215 ambulances and more than 60 emergency paramedic response units. Now, the panels will supply critical onboard medical equipment. The vehicles will also be equipped with hybrid electric drivetrains. Cost of all of this, a little more than $1 million. I've got a couple of sports stories for you now. First, football. The Canadian Football League has always struggled. It's been dealt another blow this year. As EBC sports reporter Zarita Sese tells us, the league has canceled its season this year.
While some leagues are well underway their postseason, others have not seen the success in restarting amidst the ongoing COVID pandemic. The most recent league to cancel their season is the Canadian Football League, who is scheduled to start their 2020 season in May and was to battle for the Grey Cup in November. However, due to the Canadian government banning large gatherings, the league has lost its primary source of revenue, as the league relies heavily on their fans for financial support. In an attempt to salvage their season, the CFL did ask for assistance from the federal government, where the government would provide them with a $30 million interest-free loan. However, the government had declined the request and thus resulting in the cancellation. In a statement made by the commissioner of the CFL, Randy Ambrosi, he indicated, even with government funding and a new CBA, our owners and community-held teams would have had to endure significant financial losses to play in 2020. It was estimated that with the current situation of the CFL, they had already lost up to $20 million thus far. With the cancellation of this season, it would be the first time since 1919 that the Grey Cup would not be awarded. Not only would the season have been a financial burden to try and salvage, but the logistics of bringing players from south of the border would have been difficult as well, given the quarantine restrictions within Canada. But as more and more restrictions are lifted, the league is looking ahead to its future seasons to make up for lost time. Reporting from Toronto, Canada, Zarita Sese, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Well, some exciting news for fans of the Toronto Raptors. Head coach Nick Nurse is the 2019-20 NBA Coach of the Year. We have standing by with us EBC Sports Guru. Can I even pronounce Guru? EBC Sports Guru, Tenny Samagi. She's joining us live this morning. Tenny, tell us all about Nick.
Are you sure I'm some sports guru?
Oh, you're definitely a guru.
Let's talk Nick Nurse, or we shall say, Rita Nurse. Nurse beat out Milwaukee Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer and OKC Thunder Billy Donovan for this year's Coach of the Year award. Presenting the award to Nurse was Nurse's high school coach and Raptors guards Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry. Nurse became the first head coach to win the award both in the NBA and the NBA too.
Do you think Nurse is on his way to becoming an elite coach?
Well, definitely. Let's hear from Coach Nurse first.
Yes, we should do that.
Kind of surprised today with the whole presentation thing. I really had no idea that it was here today, and haven't given it much thought, to be honest. We've been, pretty knee deep in trying to win these games and prepare. I'm sure I'll get to that at some point. It's been an interesting journey, that's for sure. And yeah, it's a humbling award. It really is.
In other news, earlier today, the Boston Celtics swept the Philadelphia 76ers 110-106. We'll hear more from Celtics forward Jaylen Brown.
Last year we had a lot of talent. I think this year we were better as a team. So going into next series, we have to, be ready to fight. Last year we swept as well in the first round. And in the second round, I think we lost in 5. So we have that in the back of our heads, the guys that have been here. And we got to continue to come out and play. Hopefully things turn out a little bit different for us. So I think we have a better team, and I think we'll prove it, here in the second round.
If the Raptors sweep the Nets today, they will meet the Celtics in the second round of the NBA playoffs. In New York, Tenny Samagi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to gaze into the future, Tenny. Do you think Nurse can lead the Raptors to another NBA title this year?
I truly believe they can actually do it this year, only because there's not much competition in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks aren't doing too well, although they won yesterday against the Magic. And the series, if they do sweep against the Nets, this series, the second round series against the Celtics, will be probably the most challenging for the Raptors. I still favor the Raptors to go to the NBA Finals, and they can possibly win back-to-back NBA champions this year. I don't guarantee next year because, Kevin Durant's coming back and Kyrie Irving, and it's going to be Brooklyn to dominate the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's going to be something if they can pull it off 2 years in a row. Quickly, any more predictions you'd like to make here on the other Eastern Conference teams?
Well, I still like the Bucks to beat the Magic, and they will probably beat the Miami Heat. So go Kuya Eric Spoelstra. Do it for the Philippines, Kuya Eric. I like that series to fall into place in the second round in the Eastern Conference. Heat versus Bucks.
As always, it's been a pleasure, Tenny, and hope to be able to have you joining us occasionally on our Eagle News International program later in the morning. And that's our program here for today. We'll be back here the same time next week. And as always, on behalf of our Canadian news team, I wish you all good health. Take care of others. Take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned now for Kid Quinto.
Established 1975, rising in the list of top-performing universities in the country, a pioneer in inclusive education and an institution with a dynamic education in response to societal needs. With already 5 campuses throughout the country, this is the New Era University. These are the programs offered in the branches outside of Metro Manila, starting off with the New Era University, Pampanga branch. This is the first branch outside of Metro Manila and now offers complete basic education, K-12 and collegiate programs. For the basic education, preschool, nursery, kinder, elementary, grades 1 to 6, junior high school, grades 7 to 10, and senior high school, grades 11 to 12. These are the available strands for senior high school for academics, STEM, ABM, HUMS, technical, vocational, industrial arts, ICT, home economics, and for sports, human movement and safety and first aid. For the New Era University Lipa branch, initially offering preschool and elementary, the branch now offers secondary education program, K-12 curriculum with the senior high school program and the School of Graduate Studies. For the basic education, preschool, nursery, kinder, elementary, grades 1 to 6, junior high school, grades 7 to 10, senior high school, grades 11 and 12, and the SPAD program. For the senior high school tracks, academic, ABM, STEM, HUMS, technical, vocational, ICT, home economics, industrial arts, sports track, arts and design. For the New Era University General Santos branch, at first offering the preschool education program, this branch now fully offers the K-12 program with senior high school. For the basic education, preschool, nursery, kinder, elementary, grades 1 to 6, junior high school, grades 7 to 10, senior high school, grades 11 to 12, and the SPAD program. Senior high school tracks and strands available: accountancy, business and management, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and humanities and social sciences. So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and be a part of the new normal. Be a part of New Era University.